The Villisca Axe Murder House, shrouded in a veil of macabre history and whispered legends, has long been a chilling landmark in the quiet town of Villisca, Iowa. Nestled amidst the serene streets, this unassuming house hides a sinister past, one that has drawn the curious and the brave for over a century. In the following tales, we delve into the eerie experiences of two neighborhood residents who dared to venture into the darkness of the Villisca Axe Murder House, unearthing spectral whispers, chilling encounters, and the indomitable presence of a gruesome history that refuses to fade.
I grew up just a stone's throw away from the Villisca Axe Murder House, nestled in the quiet town of Villisca, Iowa. As a child, I often heard the chilling tales whispered by the older folks about the horrific night of June 9, 1912. But it wasn't until one fateful summer evening that I experienced the terror myself. It was a warm, moonlit night when I received a call from my childhood friend, Sarah. She had recently moved into a house just down the street from the infamous murder site and insisted I spend the night. With some reluctance, I agreed, thinking it would be a unique adventure. As I approached Sarah's house, I couldn't help but glance at the Villisca Axe Murder House, now a museum, standing eerily in the distance. The air felt heavy, and the atmosphere was laden with a sense of foreboding. I pushed aside my unease, reminding myself it was just a house, a place where history had left its scars. Inside Sarah's house, we reminisced about our childhood and shared nervous laughter. We tried to ignore the faint creaks and whispers carried by the summer breeze, but as the clock struck midnight, the temperature dropped sharply and an unsettling silence descended. That's when we heard it. A faint, almost imperceptible sound like the soft whisper of a child. Sarah's eyes met mine, and her face paled. We both knew what we'd heard. "We should check it out," Sarah whispered, her voice trembling. Reluctantly, we ventured into the hallway, drawn toward the darkened room where the sound had originated. The old wooden floorboards creaked beneath our feet, echoing through the house like ghostly footsteps. The door to the room creaked open on its own, revealing a sight that chilled us to the core. A faint glow emanated from within, casting eerie shadows. In the corner of the room, we saw a childlike figure, a shadowy silhouette. "Who are you?" I stammered, my voice barely audible. The figure turned slowly to face us, and our hearts seemed to stop. It was the apparition of a young girl, her face gaunt, her eyes hollow, and her dress tattered. She opened her mouth, but instead of words, a ghostly whisper escaped, chilling us to the bone. It was him, the man with the axe, she murmured. Before we could react, the room plunged into darkness. We fumbled for the light switch, but when the room was illuminated again, the girl was gone. Only the feeling of icy dread remained. We returned to Sarah's living room, shaken to our core, the night taken a sinister turn, and the whispers of the past seemed all too real. As the hours passed, we heard the faint sound of an axe striking wood, echoing through the house. The next morning, we left the house, grateful to have escaped the horrors of the night. But the memory of the Villisca Axe Murder House and the ghostly encounter with the girl who whispered of the past would haunt us forever.
Growing up in Villisca, I had always known about the gruesome events that unfolded in the Villisca Axe Murder House back in 1912. The house was a source of macabre fascination for the locals, and tales of its haunted past were passed down from generation to generation. Curiosity finally got the better of me one summer night, and I decided to spend the night in that infamous place. I entered the house with a group of friends, all of us armed with flashlights and a mixture of fear and excitement. The air inside was heavy, as if the weight of the past still clung to the walls. We explored the rooms, hearing the floorboards creak and groan beneath our feet. As the night wore on, we gathered in the very room where the murders had taken place. The air grew colder, and a sense of dread settled over us. We decided to turn off our flashlights, plunging the room into darkness, and waited in silence. That's when we heard it, a faint, rhythmic thumping, like footsteps ascending the stairs. Panic coursed through us as we realized we were the only ones in the house. The thumping grew closer and louder until it seemed to be right outside the door. With trembling hands, I switched on my flashlight, and the room was once again bathed in light. But there was no one there. We heard a low, guttural whisper, a voice that sent shivers down our spines. "Get out." We scrambled to our feet, our hearts pounding, and rushed out of the room. The thumping footsteps followed us, echoing through the house as we raced for the exit. Just as we crossed the threshold, a deafening crash resounded from behind us. We turned to see a massive bloodied axe embedded in the doorframe, as if someone, or something, had thrown it at us. It was a chilling reminder of the horrors that had transpired within those walls. We fled the Villisca axe murder house, our minds reeling from the terror we had witnessed. To this day, I can't explain what happened that night, but I know that I will never forget the darkness and the whispered warning that drove us from that haunted place.